You mentioned Durant. Durant coming off from injury with Kyrie Irving in New York City, just as the Knicks continue to keep shooting themselves in the Dolan foot, or whatever you want to call it, is one of the most plum coaching jobs I think the NBA could offer up right now. And it goes to Steve Nash. Where did that come from?
By the way, it was 25 years ago this week that the Heat completed their transaction to hire Pat Riley.
Amazing.
$1 million in a first-round pick. What do you think would happen with the Knicks if they kept Pat Riley and made him team president?
Oh, please. Don't even get me started, man. I mean,
think about that one.
Please. I would have been amazing.
Think that this is, just think about that. You want to talk about great trades in NBA history? How about that one? Advantage Heat. I actually think this is one of the most challenging jobs out there. And I understand why people want the job, because if you're going to be a head coach, you don't want to take, ideally you don't want to take a team from 17 wins and try to get them to 37 over 2 years. You want to take a team from 40 wins and take them to 58 and try to win a title. You want to play for the whole thing. That's what you want. So I can understand why Steve Nash would take this, but I think it's an incredibly difficult situation. Number one, the personalities there are just challenging. It's not that I think that Kyrie and Durant are a bad fit. I think they're a great fit basketball-wise, but they're challenging. And again, it's not because they're petulant or because they're subversive. It's because I've watched them with their, they get into moods. They get into social media things. They get into issues with teammates. And put these two together, I just think it's going to take an incredible steadying hand to do it. I mean, Phil Jackson won 11 championships because he was able to manage complex personalities and star players. Yeah, the triangle was awesome, and the triangle did help get a lot of baskets, but he managed, Michael Jordan with Dennis Rodman, right? He negotiated Dennis Rodman to go to Vegas, right?
That's right.
What's more important, getting a couple of baskets in the triangle or keeping Michael Jordan from wringing Dennis Rodman's neck? What's more important, getting Kobe and Shaq to play together, or getting Robert Horry open on the backside? I mean, I know getting the shot isn't not important, but that's the thing for Steve Nash. The challenge is going to be to get those two guys together. And one of the most fascinating things I've seen in the last 5 years in the NBA is that Kevin Durant chose to get into a marriage with Kyrie Irving. I just didn't see that as something that Durant would want. Kyrie did the sales job, to me, Durant would want to be with a guy like Kawhi, who can play sort of opposite on the wing from him and is no drama and doesn't really need much oil, can be totally fine. And Kawhi called him. Kawhi called him after they won with the Raptors last year and said, "Hey, you want to play together?" But he was already betrothed to Kyrie. Kyrie got in with him, and Kyrie has basically told two teams, "I don't want to be with you anymore." And so now it's almost like kind of getting in for somebody with their third marriage. Okay, the first one was arranged. He didn't get to choose LeBron. LeBron and the Cavs chose him. But it's worrisome. It's worrisome to keep that together. Now, you could play this back in 12 months and say, boy, were you a fool after they win 63 games and go to the finals. I admit that that's possible, but I just think it's a huge hurdle. And any coach, I don't care if it was Greg Popovich, was going to have their hands full dealing with that. So I will be watching, and it'll be a heck of a soap opera is my prediction.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.